Hello everyone and welcome back. Right, today's video is one that I've genuinely been wanting to make for a while now, because if there's one thing that I see come up again and again with the women that I work with, both in person and online, is this. They're showing up, they're putting in the effort, and they genuinely want it, and yet they're still not seeing the results that they deserve. And then when I dig into why, it almost always comes down to the same set of patterns. It's not a lack of motivation, it's not a lack of effort, it's patterns, habits, beliefs about training that have been shaped by years of confusing, conflicting, and frankly sometimes really misleading fitness content. So today I want to address the things that I see most women get wrong when it comes to being consistent in the gym and actually making progress. Now, this isn't about criticising anyone, it's just about giving you clarity. Because once you understand what's actually holding you back, you can fix it. And that's when everything changes. Before we get into the specific mistakes, I want to reframe what consistency actually means, because I think a lot of women kind of have the wrong definition. Consistency doesn't mean going to the gym every single day. It doesn't mean never missing a session or eating perfectly 100% of the time. You can never miss a training session or never miss mistakes in your diet. That's not what it's about. That's not the requirement. You just need to stick with it for the long run. Make the conscious decision to get better more often than the times you choose the path of least resistance. The truth is that 2 to 3 strength training sessions per week over time will dramatically improve the way you look and feel. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. This is what consistency actually looks like. It's not extreme, it's sustainable, and sustainable is what produces lasting results. So, with that framing in mind, let's talk about what gets in the way. Mistake number 1, and this might be the most common thing that I see, is going from 0 to 100 in the first week and then completely crashing out by week 3. Beginners often make the mistake of just simply overdoing it when they first start. Instead of starting with 3 strength training sessions a week, they schedule in like 6. They do as much as they can. They train as if they're professional athletes. And then they probably give up after a couple of weeks, which is often a lot sooner. Such an approach is simply unmanageable for beginners. The body isn't used to sudden overload, and the likely result is severe fatigue, muscle pain, or injury. So here's what I tell my clients. The goal of week 1 is to make it to week 2. That's it. Build the habits first, build the intensity gradually. A well-structured beginners program that you can actually sustain for 12 weeks will always beat an intense program that you abandon after 2. Okay, so mistake number 2, and this is a big one, the over-reliance on cardio. When a woman decides she wants to get in shape, she often gravitates towards cardio-heavy activities like running, spinning, or kickboxing, and then shies away from strength training. While there is nothing wrong with doing cardio, especially if you enjoy it, there are numerous benefits to strength training for women. The hope with doing a lot of cardio is that it will magically help you tone up. But what you actually mean when you say I want to tone up is that you want to add muscle mass and decrease body fat percentage. The cross trainer, the stationary bike and the Stairmaster are great pieces of equipment that will help you expend a lot of calories, but they won't shape your body, and they especially won't shape it in the way that you're envisioning. So here's the thing about cardio specifically. Your body adapts to it fairly quickly. What felt hard in week 1 starts to feel easy by week 6, and you burn progressively fewer calories doing the same thing. Strength training doesn't work like that. The more you progress, the more you're capable of, and the more your body has to adapt. Strength training helps you to add muscle mass, which is metabolically expensive, meaning that you burn more calories even at rest. Not to mention, getting stronger is one of the most effective confidence boosters around. Cardio absolutely has its place. I use it with all my clients. But if cardio is the main thing that you're doing and you're wondering why your body hasn't changed, then that is probably your answer. And this leads us perfectly into mistake number 3, the fear of lifting heavy weights. I have this conversation constantly. Someone comes to me and one of the first things that they'll say is, "Oh, I don't want to get too bulky." And I completely understand where that comes from, right? It's everywhere in the messaging women receive about fitness. But I want to put this to bed once and for all. The only way you will end up looking bulky is if you consistently increase your calorie intake and begin eating in a calorie surplus, or if you take testosterone or steroids. That's it. Picking up heavy dumbbells is not going to make that happen for you. Most women make the mistake of actually lifting too light and for not enough reps. That beats sitting on the sofa, and it's not the most productive use of your time. Lifting moderate to heavy weights should be a part of everyone's training program. The women in the gym who are in fantastic shape are usually the ones lifting weights properly. That's no coincidence. So stop playing the "I don't want to get too big and bulky" card. Stop it. Lifting heavier weights has a side effect of giving you stronger, more defined curves. When I start working with a new female client, one of the first things we do is to get her comfortable with progressive overload. We start at a weight that's manageable, we nail the technique, and then we add to it over time, and without exception. Then the feedback I start getting is, "Oh, I wish I'd started doing this sooner." Mistake 4, training without a proper plan. Simply picking up some weights and doing a few random exercises is not enough. A proper training program is a balanced one. You can't just run, you can't just stretch, you can't just lift. Mindlessly machine hopping is only going to lead to boredom. To be successful in the gym, you must have a plan. The first things you need to know before creating your program are your goals, because these will dictate your exercise selection, intensity, weight, and rep range. A solid program for women should cover all the fundamental movement patterns, so squats, hinges, pushes, pulls, and core work. We have covered this in a previous video, and if you've seen that video, then you already know this. But what I'd add here is that you need to stay away from small isolation exercises and focus on big compound movements. When you involve more muscles, you expel more energy and you get far more from your training time. The other thing I want to flag is copying programs designed for competitive athletes or fitness influencers who are in prep for a photo shoot or for a competition. This is one of the most common ways women end up in the wrong training style for their actual goal. If you find a bikini competitor's training program and feel like you should try it because she looks great, then you're completely missing the context entirely. Her training is designed for a very specific purpose at a very specific stage of preparation. Copying it without context means spending unnecessary time on exercises that don't serve you or your goals. Get a program that is built around you, your goals, your structure, and your current level. And that's not to say, by the way, that you completely ignore isolation exercises. They are a great top up to your compounds. Mistake number 5, and this one comes up all the time, is the obsession with abs and core at the expense of everything. Like, here's a truth I share with every single client that I work with. We all have a six-pack. Every single one of us. The question is just whether there's a layer of fat sitting over it and how much. The best way to reduce that is not to do more sit-ups. It's to focus on building muscle across your entire body and supporting your nutrition. Dedicating your entire workout to your core is completely unnecessary and waste your time if your goal is body composition. you should be engaging your core during your compound lifts anyway. Similarly, a lot of women focus almost exclusively on their legs, glutes and abs, doing countless squats and lunges without actually working on their upper body. There's nothing wrong with wanting to develop your glutes, but doing 5 sessions a week focused only on your lower body is not the answer. Muscles also need time to regenerate between sessions. That's when they actually grow. A balanced program that trains your whole body, including your upper body, will actually help you build that strong, defined look far more effectively than endlessly repeating the same lower body session. Mistake 6, and this one directly kills consistency, is program hopping. You can't keep jumping from one thing to another. Give it time and trust the results. Just because you haven't got your dream body after a couple of sessions is no excuse to then jump onto the bandwagon. If you keep switching from one thing to the other, you become very inconsistent with any one training method, and you'll quickly get nowhere. I'd say most women need to follow a structured program for at least 3 months before they start seeing any meaningful physical changes. And often the internal changes, so more energy, better sleep, feeling stronger, comes up before the mirror. It can take weeks or even months to see visible progress in the gym, which is why staying committed and consistent during that phase is so critical. This is one of the main reasons I structure my online coaching the way that I do, because accountability and structure over a sustained period of time is what bridges the gap between someone who keeps starting over and somebody who actually transforms. Now, mistake number 7 is a sensitive one, but it does need to be said, and often this is what holds a lot of women back: undereating. Specifically, being so cautious about food that you're not actually giving your body the fuel it needs to perform in the gym, recover between sessions, and actually build the muscle that you're training for. It's really important that you fuel for your workout. So this will mean having a pre-workout snack, maybe having an intra-workout supplement, and a post-workout meal as well, or a snack. That way you're giving your body the macronutrients, carbs, fats and proteins that it needs to help support you towards your goal. Now, this doesn't mean that you eat everything in sight. It just means that you're fueling your training purposefully. Enough total calories to support the work you're doing, and enough protein spread across the day to support recovery. If you're going to the gym consistently but constantly feeling exhausted and not recovering well, maybe you should look at your nutrition first. And finally, mistake number 8, comparison. Women are bombarded by before and after pictures on the internet and in fitness magazines. This imagery can serve as motivation, but it can also lead to deep frustration. Comparison is the thief of joy after all, so live your own journey and accept your own body's time frame. I say this with full sincerity, like every single woman I've worked with has a different starting point, a different body, a different history, and a different pace of progression. And that's completely fine. The only comparison that matters is you versus you. Are you stronger than what you were last month? Are you moving better? Are you more confident? That is the scoreboard that you should be using, and that's the only one that matters. Not everyone makes progress at the same pace. A lot of us are impatient and we lose motivation, especially when we don't see quick results and make the mistake of giving up or reverting back to our own ways. Building your ideal physique takes time. The women I've seen make the most dramatic transformations are not the ones who pushed hardest for 2 weeks. They're the ones who just kept showing up, kept adjusting, and just kept trusting the process. And sometimes their transformations actually took the longest. Now, I really want to be straight with you about something. Everything I've covered in this video, the programming, the progressive loading, the nutrition, the accountability, the structure, this is exactly what I work through with my online coaching clients. And the reason that I make these videos is because I genuinely want women to have access to the information that actually works. not the stuff that's designed to sell them something that won't. But here's the reality. Knowing the mistakes is one thing. Having someone in your corner who helps you build a plan around your life, check-ins with you, adjust things when they need to be adjusted and keeps you accountable when motivation dips, that is an entirely different thing on its own. When women try to go it alone, they often jump straight into the deep end, training like a full-time athlete, hit complete overwhelm and just can't maintain it. Now, that is not a discipline failure, it's a support failure. If you're someone who's been spinning your wheels, starting and stopping, feeling like you're putting in all the work, but you're just not seeing the results, then I'd love to talk to you. My online coaching is personalised, flexible, and built around making this sustainable for real life. The link is in the description box down below. No pressure, it's just an open door for those who feel like they need a bit more support. Alright, so let's pull it all together. The women who are most consistent in the gym are not the ones with the most motivation or the most time. They're the ones with the right structure, the right expectations, and a clear understanding of what they're doing and why they're doing it. So please ditch the cardio only approach, pick up the weights, follow a proper program, fuel your body, and stop comparing your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10. And just keep showing up, even when progress feels slow, because it is happening even when you can't see it. If this video resonated with you, give it a like, as it will genuinely help this content reach more people who need it. Please drop a comment below and tell me which of these mistakes you've been most guilty of, and I promise I read every comment that I do get, and I love hearing from you. And if you're not already subscribed, then make sure you hit that button so you don't miss the next one. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!